guys, it is Tanya, and welcome back to the channel, and welcome back to another speed build. This is actually, I think, my second Halloween-inspired build of the year, which is crazy because we're like halfway through October now, and I haven't done that many. But there'll probably be more through the rest of the month. There's just been so many things I want to do, so many collabs I've been doing, and it's just kind of gotten away from me, so I haven't done that many spooky builds. But hopefully I have named this build from by now, and it's in the title and not just like unnamed spooky house, because I've gone back and forth with names a bunch of times, so it might not be this, but I'm thinking currently about calling this a breached shelter, because I imagined this house to be a creepy little house you happen to wander across in the woods. So the kind of thought process with this was that this is in the vampire world of Forgotten Hollow. And I imagine there were some human sims that found themselves here and were running away from vampires who just, you know, attacked, maybe killed somebody else in their group, and they're trying to find shelter. And they find this little place, and it's abandoned and kind of a weird place. And they seek shelter here. And it's just a weird kind of all kinds of stuff there. It kind of looks like maybe somebody else had shelter here at some point, because there is garlic absolutely everywhere. There's also some remains of some sims inside. And I imagine that they were trying to stay here to seek shelter from, being turned into vampires or having their blood drank or being killed by other vampires. So that's kind of the thought process about this. I just wanted it to be a creepy little house in the middle of the woods that your sims are trying to find shelter in so that they can hide from vampires. So that was a thought process with this. So I think it's going to be called Breached Shelter, because I imagine that it never works. The garlic somehow does not keep the vampires away, and they don't make it through the night, which, it's kind of morbid, but I thought it's a Halloween. I mean, it's not Halloween, but it's basically Halloween. It's October. So we could do some spooky, creepy, slightly morbid things. And so that's kind of the thought process with this. I feel like it's straight out of a horror movie, and that's really what I wanted it to feel like. Also, that kind of tower coming out of the top of the house is not functional. You could definitely renovate this and put a staircase up there. There wouldn't be a whole lot of space to do anything up there, though. I just wanted it for looks, and maybe there is something mysterious up there, or you used to be able to access it back in the day when this was at its, prime. But I don't know when that was. I don't know what it looked like, because this is just a fallen house, creepy in the woods, that people try to stay in to stay safe through the night, and they never make it. So come up with your own stories, I suppose. But I had a lot of fun making this. I really, really like it. It's different than some of the builds I've done before. And I sat down to do some spooky builds, and I didn't like how they were coming out. And then I was like, oh, Tanya, you've been really into tiny houses lately. Why don't you do a Halloween take on your tiny house obsession? So that's what this is. It does have a bedroom and then a kitchen living area. Not really kitchen dining, kitchen living area. Well, kitchen dining more so. There's no couch in it. I don't know why I was saying kitchen living. There's a table and chairs all in the wrong spots and stuff. And then there's no bathroom in the main structure, but I kind of make an outhouse in the backyard a little bit later on. So there is everything you need for your Sims to go ahead and live here. It's just kind of run down and scary, and you probably wouldn't want to, but it is functional. Everything's kind of off the grid and messed up. But you can actually sleep in the bed. I think only one sim can, though, because you can't get to the other side of it. So this is a good place for one sim to sleep. Although, if your sims are hiding here to try and hide from vampires, you probably only want one sim sleeping at a time anyway, so that somebody's on the lookout so they don't all die. So, and there's some graves out here of potentially some sims who, may have passed. Although there are, like I said, some remains inside. I really like some of the items that we got with Jungle Adventure. I put some of them in the house because I thought they were kind of creepy. The dolls we got, I think they're Miskin dolls. I think they're really cool, and they served a cool purpose, but out of the context of Salvadorada, they do look a little creepy and slightly like voodoo-ish dolls. And so I did put those in the house. I didn't actually grab the voodoo doll, though, but I just thought that maybe in the past that people who were hiding in here trying to get away from vampires, tried everything they could to try and tackle these creatures and get out alive. So there's all kinds of spell books, there's voodoo dolls, there's lots and lots of books. They're trying to get all their research up. There's a machete. There's just everything you can think of. They're trying their hardest. There's remnants of things they've tried to get out alive. So there's even a put together wooden chair that It's like the one your Sims can make on the woodworking table, but I kind of imagined that it was they made a chair out of all of their wooden stakes that they could use to slay a vampire. So that was kind of the thought process behind that. And I put that in the bedroom as a bedside table. So I thought that was cool. And yeah, so it's pretty overgrown out here. We also add a little bit of a water feature over here. And I forgot to turn move objects back on. So oopsie on that part. But also, let me know what you guys think of the new microphone. Still getting used to it, so I might accidentally talk a little bit too close and you might hear some popping and accentuated of the letter P, because microphones do not like the letter P. So pineapple. So I apologize for that, but hopefully you guys like the sound of it, because I think it sounds a whole lot better than my previous mic and I'm really, really happy with it. So let me know what you guys are thinking of the new microphone. I'm just really excited about it. I've been upgrading my equipment as I can. And hopefully it improves the quality of the channel, because that's kind of what I'm going for. And it just makes me really happy. I get really excited about it. So that's just kind of the thought process there. But this is the little outhouse we are creating. It ends up being bigger than this. It looked really goofy right now. I think we make it too wide like this, and we use the same door on it that we used for the rest of the house. And it's brick. Oh, I don't think I did it yet, but another interesting thing I did is I deleted all of the floors in the house. And I used terrain paint as the ground, which I thought was really interesting and kind of made sense to me, because it's like an old decaying place. So maybe the ground, is like the floors have been ripped up. They've been soaking through with like water, and maybe this is on top of like or near like marshlands or like wetlands, and it's kind of gross. So I thought that added to the creep factor. And of course I used tons of decals on the walls from Vampires and from Jungle Adventure to kind of add to this house is falling apart. This structure or building is falling apart, because this might not have been a house to begin with. It might have just became a house over time. It's an interesting shape and I really like it. So I'm curious to see what you guys think of this home / building / shelter, and what you think it might have been back in the day. Was it just a really small house, or what other function could this building have had? I just think it's a really cool, creepy little place. But we're just adding some of those Amiskin dolls up on the shelves in the kitchen. We have like the old stove and refrigerator. There's no electricity in this home, so everything's candles and like wood. Yeah, candles and wood. That's and obviously the place is made of stone. And I'm just going through all the items. I did not realize we had a debug item that was bedding for your hamsters. I'm going to have to start using that in builds, because I had no idea we had that. So I got really excited about that. You'll probably see me start grabbing a bunch of random things. I'm like, oh my gosh, I didn't realize I had this too. Like I grabbed like shovels and rakes and stuff, and I started adding garlic, and I end up adding garlic onto every single door and window in this house, because I imagine the people that were trying to escape from the vampires really, really wanted the protection. And so they did everything they could by protecting with as much garlic as they physically could. So that was the thought process there. It's a little overkill in my opinion, but they're just trying to make sure they don't get killed. So, lots of garlic. So I had fun with that. And I just really liked the story I came up with this. And I originally just typed haunted house at the top as the name of this, because when I started building it, I didn't exactly know where I was going with it. It evolved over time, and I was like, oh my gosh, yes, this is just the creepy house in the middle of the woods that you're running from vampires. I love it. I don't know. I really like being creative with Halloween builds, and hopefully I'll have some more cool ones coming up. Anything that I have out this week, by the time you guys are hearing this, will have already been built. But if you have any suggestions for the future weeks during October of some spooky type of builds you'd like to see, please let me know in the comments section down below. And I didn't mean for that to rhyme, but I'm very happy that it did. And so we're in the kitchen, and we're just adding this kind of, I always use this table when I want it to like look rustic or run down, because it's kind of not perfect. It has some dings in it. It's, yeah. And we shrunk down a machete because I kind of wanted it to just look like a knife you could stab someone. Stab a vampire with, I guess. I mean, I don't know how much good that's going to do you, but it helps you protect yourself a little bit. And some of the vampire tomes I also put on the table, because maybe we were researching them, or somebody in the past was. So like you're in the middle of the woods, you're running, you find this place, you lock yourself in, you're trying to stay safe from these vampires who are banging at your doors and trying to get into the house. And you find these old books that previous survivors have left behind that they were going through, or previous people that were in this house, they did not survive because you can see their bones on the floor behind you. But the books they were going through to see how they could possibly defeat these creatures. So I think that's just kind of an interesting thing. And that's the chair in the bedroom I was talking about that you can make with the woodworking table that I thought looked like it could be made out of wooden stakes. I thought it was, I don't know, that's just my thought process. Maybe it doesn't seem that way to you guys, and that's totally fine, but I thought it was kind of a cool idea. So that's what I went with. We also just added a bunch of random clutter around, mostly stuff that came with the vampire stuff pack, because that has a lot of like creepy stuff in it. Not all of it is like, this is strictly vampires. It's just kind of weird, creepy. And then this is like the stuff pushed around in here. So maybe there was a struggle or a fight between somebody who is trying to not get their blood sucked or whatever. So that's kind of what I was doing in there with all the furniture everywhere. And we're just adding some more landscaping. I also added that mine in the backyard that I think is from Oasis Springs to get to a secret world. I thought that was kind of interesting. So maybe there is also, maybe this house is a very bad place to be, because maybe that mine leads to an underground place that vampires are sleeping, and that's where a lot of them live. So I don't know. That's an interesting to think about and kind of creepy, and you know, probably not the best place to end up if you're trying to get away from vampires, if there's like a whole group of them living below you. You know, kind of unfortunate. But we're just adding some more ivy throughout the interior of this build. And, you know, just figuring out the last bits of clutter. But I thought this was a really, really fun build. I hope you guys did enjoy it. It will be up on the gallery if you search Griffy or the hashtag MsGryphi. That information will also be in the description down below. But if you are new here, please consider subscribing if you liked this video. Also, give it a big thumbs up. And you can also turn on that little bell next to the subscribe button. It'll turn on notifications so you'll be notified of every single time I upload a video, so you won't miss out on anything. Thank you guys so very much for watching. Leave any suggestions down below. And I will see you guys very, very soon. Bye, everybody.